Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Revolution podcast, version 2.0. Yeah, you heard that right. Welcome back to the podcast. If you don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Matt Maggio. I am the creator of the Peak Method, founder of the Soft Tissue Revolution, where we teach manual therapists a new treatment system that does focus on working smarter, not harder, which will allow them to cut their treatment times by 50% so they can stay healthy and help a hell of a lot more people get out of pain. Now, you're probably wondering, what am I doing back? I think it's going on 2 months ago. Yeah, that's when I looked. I put out the last podcast and let everyone know that this was going to be the last episode of the Soft Tissue Revolution podcast. I shared a lot in that episode about the idea of I'm still out there in the real world, still doing real shit, still running a real clinic. Nothing pisses me off more than all these self-proclaimed gurus and coaches and technique people that don't ever get in the real world of practice, and they're just teaching seminars and coaching and have everybody doing like a cookie cutter approach. I'm in the real shit. I'm in the real world. It isn't all just about the technique and the treatment. There's so many other aspects of that, like your business and your marketing, your communication, dealing with patient shit, and just really understanding there's so much more involved in that. And I've been growing and expanding my clinic. I talked about, we're going to be bringing on 2 to 3 providers by the end of the year, opening up a new location. But I was overwhelmed and, just genuinely, I guess, surprised after I made that last episode, how many people reached out and said how much they enjoyed the podcast, how much it helped them. They really looked forward to hearing it every week, and it really helped them grow, not just in their business, but their mindset, help give them a kick in the ass that they needed sometimes, and understand that they can continue to be better and work each day towards personal excellence. Because at the end of the day, personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion of anything else going on out there. I went in a lot of that on the last episode about, just getting your shit together and doing it. Now, then what else did I do? I went in and I just checked like the downloads of the podcast. I hadn't looked in like 3 months or 2.5 months. And when I went in, the downloads were up by I think 3 to 4 times what they normally were. So there were a lot more new people listening, and people were just listening and reaching out being like, hey, I really wish you'd bring the podcast back. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this. It's a lot of work. It's hard for me to get on the mic each week and put this out there, but it was helping so many people. And what I realized was I kind of missed doing the podcast. I missed getting on here each week and kind of using almost like a therapy session about all the crazy shit that's going on in the musculoskeletal world, all the charlatans, all the bullshit energy healers, all that kind of stuff, and how patients act, how clients act, just all the frustrations. And I realized it really did help me. So I decided to bring the podcast back, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. And this is why it's called version 2.0. In version 1, I enjoyed doing it, but it was kind of all over the place. I would sprinkle in like some clinical stuff, some motivation, treatment side of things, business side of things, marketing things. It was kind of all over the place. And I kind of lost my drive and my passion for that. And what I found was I was kind of, when I first started the podcast, I really didn't give a shit about what I said or who I offended. I was very blunt and very honest. And I kind of just got on here and just riffed and said what was in my heart and how I felt. Then what I found as the podcast got bigger, I was following more of a structure and taking a lot of notes and reading off of things and really trying to not step on toes and not offend people and hurt their delicate feelings. And then I just didn't feel who I was. I think that's why I kind of got burnt out on the podcast. But what I realized is I'm not for everybody. I'm very blunt. I'm very honest. And I do like to use choice language and profanity. It just makes me feel better. And I found myself limiting that. And it's not who I am. I actually swear in my own clinic with my clients and stuff like that. It doesn't matter what it is, but I would get so many people like, oh, I love your content, but I wish you just wouldn't swear, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try to not swear, not try to do that. But you know what? I don't give a fuck about that anymore. This is version 2.0, and there's going to be a lot more cursing. There's going to be more blunt talk. There's just going to be in your face about what's going on. So going forward, what I decided to do is I'm going to try to get on here once a week. I'm going to try to commit to that for the next 6 months and see how it goes. Not really have a plan, just some ideas that might come up. Over the podcast, we'll talk about a lot of stuff. Maybe some motivation. I think motivation by itself is bullshit. Maybe just some inspiration. And what I want to focus on this podcast is more like the business side, crushing your limiting beliefs, how to deal with clients being assholes, how to deal with other providers that are just stupid and saying dumb shit, and really just more of the business side of things, are like maybe giving you the kick in the ass that you need, or maybe bringing down a peg or two because you think you're sweet and you're so amazing. I don't know, something there. But I'm not going to really talk about a lot of the clinical aspects of things or the treatment. That's more for my YouTube channel, LinkedIn. I think I share a lot on Facebook as well. And in my free trainings as well, we go through that as well. I really want to use this podcast more to just kind of show my normal side, like my I don't give a fuck side as we go. So if you are offended by my language or anything that I do, you probably won't want to listen to version 2.0 because I'm going to be a little bit more edgy on that. Might hurt your feelings a little bit, but at the end of the day, I always say facts don't care about your feelings. But I'm excited to bring the podcast back. And like I said, I'm going to try to get it out every Saturday. That's how it kind of works in my clinic schedule for right now. It's going to be all sorts of stuff we'll cover. I'm going to still try to keep them pretty short, that 10 to 15, just enough to give you some information, but not overdoing it and just talking about a bunch of stupid shit. But I'm really excited to bring it back. And we're going to try to maybe have some, I think I got an interview lined up here soon with some other providers that have gone through and implemented my full system, doing shorter treatments, getting better results, and crushing their limiting beliefs. I'm going to try to get a couple of those providers on as well, because a lot of people that reach out to me, they're like, hey, your system sounds great, but it works for you because you're a doctor. It won't work for me because I'm a massage therapist and people won't take me serious. That's limiting beliefs and all that kind of stuff. And I just want to get back to, giving back, because at the end of the day, I want to get better quality soft tissue treatment to more people. And that comes from advanced manual practitioners. But what I find is you can't get the fuck out of your own way. Your business is struggling. Your life is a wreck. You're trying to do a million different seminars, a million different things. And then you're not able to get the quality hands-on treatment to people early in the process. They end up going to like a bullshit chiropractor that doesn't do anything, physical therapist that doesn't do anything. Now that person didn't get that window or that opportunity to get quality hands-on soft tissue treatment from a provider like you because you couldn't get out of your own fucking way. Then they end up in the orthopedic model on pain pills. Injection surgeries only make things worse and ruin people's lives. So what I realize is I got to help you get your shit together. I've been someone who didn't get my shit together for a long time. I'm going on 12 years of my journey and really just learning so many things. And I want to share those insights and knowledge with you and really just help you be better, because at the end of the day, the only thing that truly pays is being excellent and being so damn good that people can't ignore you. And a lot of that comes from things that aren't just the treatment. It's how you communicate, how you educate, how you market, how you sell, all that shit. You have to run a business. No longer are you going to be what I call a part-time amateur. I want you to be a full-time professional and become undeniable that it doesn't matter who's around you in your area. You're so fucking good that people wouldn't even consider going to someone else because it would be a waste of their time and their money. So glad to be back on the podcast. Glad to have a little bit more edge to it as we go. Be on the lookout for it. We still have all the free training stuff available. And like I said, go follow the YouTube channels, me on LinkedIn and Facebook as well. That's where I put more of the clinical side. That's going to be like treatment, evaluation, case management, things like that. That type of thing. But the podcast is going to be more me saying whatever the fuck I want to say. And if you get offended, I don't care. Don't listen to the episode. So glad to be back. Hope you guys are glad to have me back. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. If you want help on the path to being able to double your income, all while working 50% less and being taken seriously as a healthcare provider, I have some great resources for you. Number one, get access to our free training modules and introduction to my system, the Peak Method. Number two, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Soft Tissue Revolution. Links to all of this can be found in the show notes. Lastly, if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star review and share it with others that you know it could help.